I'm live for the second time. Okay. Whew. This feels weird. I had to end the other one. My camera wasn't working. It looked weird from the get-go, but because I'm not I'm not as familiar with going live natively outside of the YouTube scenario, this camera angle feels off. I need to adjust that. I feel like I wasn't my best self. Let's see if I can adjust this ever so. Or maybe it's this that moved. What's up, Kimberjack? We're going to have to kind of let it settle in now. This feels strange. I don't know why it feels odd like this. Man, okay. What's up, Jason Noy? Robert Johnson. It's a borders kind of thing. I feel like something is a little off. I don't know why. I'm not sure why. Maybe the stuff back here is crooked. Any hoot. Now, I restarted my computer. I'm only using YouTube. I'm not using StreamYard this time because I'm wondering if my quality has been dependent upon StreamYard. So I'm going basic YouTube. So y'all won't see any comments on the screen. I can't share my screen or any of that fly stuff. It's just me. Man, what's going on, Joe Tyson? Good to see you, CJ Loyola, Josh Brown, Paco, Nathan. I'm Love. Been a minute. I don't see your name. I haven't seen your name. I didn't go last week, so maybe that's why it feels weird. I feel like I'm out of it. Hey, Cat. We are doing fine. No issues around here. I mean, yeah, say no issues. Was the baby sleep in bed? Hey, Ivan, the Xbox is not off, man. You turned the TV off. I'm sorry to keep y'all waiting. Let me pull up my task list here. First things first, obey your thirst. Sprite, all right. Okay, cool. I did want to talk to you guys about I had a post about it today. I wanted to talk with you about the Alcatel P501. My man Wayne was like, it felt a little harsh. I watched it again with the missus. And I didn't feel like it was harsh. I felt like it was, you're welcome. I felt like it was something, but not harsh. So I was talking with Kimberjack for a little bit because she actually watched it from Patreon. A couple of you guys watched it from Patreon. I have another video I'm gonna put out on Patreon soon about the over paneling stuff. That one's ready. I'll probably put that up either today or tomorrow. Early access type stuff. It won't be paid. I'm still, kind of figuring that stuff out. But if you guys get in the process, what's the word? I don't know. I can't word sometimes. I don't know. I feel like I don't read as much as I used to. I feel like my vocabulary is declining because of it. Anywho. So, some of y'all commented on the post, a couple. Did you see the post that I made about whether I was harder than or not? I didn't check the post recently. I did figure out that you can't pick comments from a post. I was kind of bummed out by that because I'd like to do some, I'm not even going to say the word giveaway because it feels like, man, them dudes probably be listening for that. Oh, he said giveaway. Let's hit them with some spam. I actually watched a video by Marquez Brownlee, MKBHD. And it seems like YouTube is trying to kind of tackle that a little bit better. So whatever. Anyway, I have to do my little Zoom trick here to see y'all comment. And the stream's breaking up. Oh man. Are you serious, man? Now there's no way for YouTube to let me know that it sucks. StreamYard would tell me. So are we having quality issues on the stream? How you feeling, Vic? It's good now. Man, this is getting on my nerves. Welcome back, 2%. Let's see here. You are offline. Yep, because I took all my devices offline. I restarted my computer. The only thing going is this live stream, a couple Yi cameras, and my kids are watching something on Netflix. I haven't rebooted my router in a minute, though. It's been running steadily off of the EcoFlow River for like days. I've kind of worked that system out pretty good. Let me turn this volume down and monitor my own live stream a bit. Oh, look at that, a commercial. Fancy. What you working on? True. Yes, sir. Yeah, they can have some Whoppers if you feel like doling them out. 10 a piece. Why you look at me like that? All right, I'm monitoring my own live stream, which is probably counterproductive to be streaming my own dip, but this gets me down. All right, I appreciate it. Your comment, Jason Noy, on the video or post, just like about competition. I could tell it needs to kind of like, stay on top of that. Oddly enough, I wanted the other device. If you remember, they emailed me quite a few times. They were like, "Hey, would you like to work together?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And then they emailed me again. And they're like, "Hey, would you?" They emailed me a few times. And then when they finally like realized and we started talking, I was like, "Yeah, I want the CN505." And they were like, "Actually, we need a video for the P501." And I'm like, "All right, just send it over," because 9 times out of 10, I'll check it out, do a video on it. I value that. I like doing videos on these devices, whether I don't want absolute garbage, but if it's something that people would actually consider from a somewhat reputable company or even an off the beaten path company, then I want to consider it because I feel like that's an aid in people's buying experience to be able to watch the overview and impressions videos that I make, I suppose. But they sent me the P501 and that's the video they got. All right, momentary. Cool. What's up, Four Elements United? Good to see you, man. Did y'all push the time back on your videos, or was that just a one-time thing last week? Are they kind of going to be normally a little later in the day now? God dog it. Okay, let's get my list here. So I want to give an update on the AC200P. It seems like I got my label last night. They asked me for my email. I didn't go live last week, but something that happened last week was AliExpress was like, yeah, we recommend refunding the amount for the accessories. And you have the ability to accept or reject the I'm confused. What is that what mommy said? Oh, okay. So mommy already poured them out. Okay, cool. So I rejected that. But something that I noticed is in that proposal, or at least in the latest proposal I got, there were two options. The first option was to get my money back for the accessories. Option number two is to get my money back for the full device. So I opted for that. I accepted the resolution. messaged the seller, MagSoap, and was like, hey, there were 2 options in there. I would like to get a full return, a full refund for the device and send it back to you. So in the last few days or so, they sent me the label that I need to use to send it back. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, they may, I don't know, and I'm just being candid with y'all. They may actually replace the device. I'm not sure. I'm kind of gonna wait to hear from them tonight to see if they say anything. Because I'll take replacing the device. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna see how it's gonna work out and how it's gonna play out. At one point, in my brain, I was processing the idea of having to pay shipping because AliExpress proposed returning the device. And I'm like, there's no label or anything in this language. And there's no place for you to comment. You can't say, yeah, I will. It's either accept or reject. So I found myself getting a little peeved. Like, I hope they don't expect me to pay return shipping on this freaking 60-pound device. Because that would be ridiculous. But I reached out to MagSoap and they were like, yeah, give us your email address and we'll send you a return label. All right. Update on the GoLabs. On the last live, I talked about the GoLabs R500, which I do have. I also have, I'll get to that in a second. The R500, the AC outlet was turning off on me seemingly at around 30%. So then I charged it all the way up. And what I did was I left my TV on it and my TV turned off like maybe within 45 minutes, within like 30 minutes of watching like an episode of like Below Zero or something like that. And so I hit them up and I was like, yeah, I fully charged and discharged, which I always do. They recommended me do that. And I did it again. I was like, to be sure, can I fully charge it through USB-C PD instead of your AC adapter? And they were like, that's fine. Fully charged it up, put it on the TV. 30 minutes later, turned off. It was at like 98%. I got a video clip around here somewhere that I may share, I may not share. It may end up on Patreon or something like that as a quick little blip. So they are going to send me a label. I think they sent me a label as well. I was kind of hoping they would let me keep the device and they would just send me another one. I may email them to see like, hey, can you just send me a device and then I can return that one? I'm not going to blatantly just be like, yeah, can I keep both of them? Because I'm fine with having one of them. But 2 of them would have been nice because that it makes for a good power dump. I don't even know if it would have necessarily been super useful to have 2 of them because AC is very important to me with these power stations. Y'all know with the Wackery had stuff on it that broke, but I was using it as a power dump in and a power dump out. So AC didn't necessarily matter to me because I wanted to use DC more than AC anyway because of the losses, right? Hey, South Padre Q. Good to see you. Let's see. Thanks, man. Everything. Good to see you, man. Beats, what's happening? Oh, snap. Okay. My joint over here is still looking good. So I would just say I'm doing okay out here in these streets. Now, I like the GoLabs R500 because it's a 500 watt hour capacity battery. Jason Noy did a video on it. I don't think it did super great in the capacity department, but still among its peers, which are the Oops and the Big Blue, the Oops it's okay. You know what I mean? It's been doing okay. I haven't been having any real major issues with it, but I also stopped using my rigid panels on it. What I use, I mean, I kind of do sometimes, and then I monitor it closely to make sure that it's still getting power in. But I've been kind of using my X-Star panel, putting that out and putting the Oops that can charge from solar on that. But the R500 was a pretty good device in that I could put power into it and it was LiPo and it didn't appear to have any issues. One thing I did note, me and Jason were talking about the port size, the charging port, and it can actually take in 5521 and 5525, but I can't charge it from 5525. Nothing happens. So 5521 is what that's what I use to charge it. I have to go and watch Jason Noy's video again to see what kind of solar input he gets. He's around here, so maybe he could tell me, but we test so many power stations, he may not remember, but I had it on a solar panel today. I was getting about 67 watts, which is about how much I get from that HQST squarish monocrystalline panel. Anyway, so that didn't seem odd. It was kind of like a not so super sunny, bright day. So getting 67 watts was a good look. I'll take it because the Big Blue has issues with the screen. The screen is largely inaccurate and can't be trusted. And the Oops has issues charging from panels, rigid solar panels. So it's just like, I can't trust that one. I got to monitor it. So I was excited for the R500 because I could put that on my TV, and then I don't have to worry about my TV shutting down because I can power dump into the R500 while it's on. I can't do that with the Sateki, which I do like, and I can't do that with the Big Blue, which I do like. They have their drawbacks. The Sateki is actually, the only issue with it is that it can't be charged and discharged at the same time. It also has a weird port. But anyway, so I have high hopes for this R500, right? So then that got me to thinking about, I don't think there is a 500 watt LiFePo battery that can charge at up to 200 watts that can also be charged from USB-C PD. That would be like a somewhat perfect device. And some other things kind of come into play. I feel like the fan needs to be quiet under smaller loads. What else? But none in my 500 watt. I don't think there's a device out there that meets those standards in the 500 watt hour capacity. Hey, Siobhan, what's happening? What's up, Joe Trot, the practical gadgeteer? We'll see you when you get back. The AC200P, according to Tiny House People, has very inefficient BMS, inverter, and converter drains fast. However, it's great for short-term high wattage devices. If connected to solar, it may be okay. Yeah, I dig that. Let's see. Well, let me make sure I can see all the, because it's on top chat. I don't normally have that issue, but I don't want to miss a comment because live chat is turned on. All right. Let's see here. Cool. All right. So yeah, I also have the GoLabs i200, and that thing has been consistently hovering around the price of about $130. It's like $170, but then it has a coupon on it. That one, I really like that device. I think it's a good contender for a good budget scoop up because the screen is better than the Sateki and the Sevcoms and not the Energizer P320, but the Energizer that's like the Sevcoms, which nobody really talks about. That device is like in the league of the Bodens, which has been out for a long time. And by a long time, about 2 years. But that one is compelling. I'm really intrigued by that device. And it's sad because I'm in this dilemma where I'm constantly thinking about what device am I going to give away next. I'm really leaning towards the smart list, right? Hey, Regional Sky Girl. I'm LVP, what's happening, man? Matt Kelso, so it isn't as bad as I thought at first. Which one? What? I was alarmed at how my AC200 Max drained, but I think it isn't really calibrated. Those last few percent take a lot longer to drain than those. Interesting. My EcoFlow river is like that. It'll be at 1% and it almost treats as though it's like much higher than that. I've been really monitoring that thing, not scientifically, but I've been monitoring it closely. Video on the EcoFlow Delta this week doesn't have any drain on the AC and DC outputs. What happened, Jason Noy, with the EcoFlow River Pro? I was super interested in you doing a capacity test on that. because I don't know how it's going. I don't know if it's going to fare very well. But I haven't heard much about that one. I'm pretty sure you had that one, right? What's up, Purpin on the Creek? Wayne, what's happening, man? Good to see you. They wanted the river during Prime Day. Oh, so you didn't buy the river personally? They sent it to you? It's okay, LP. Good to see you. Good to see you got the camera trouble fixed. Yeah, I hope the quality kind of holds up. Jeez, man. I don't know what's been going on lately. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, what I was saying is that GoLabs i200 is really compelling. I like that little device. My Sateki died on me, so I really only have the Sevcoms and the i200. That's how I'm living out here. In terms of those type of devices, you know what I mean? That i200 kind of gets close to the R300 and the Energizer, and but at its price, it's like for the watt hours. I haven't done the math. I meant to do the math today, but then I got caught up with like work or something like that. Hey, your mom ain't get caught up on nothing. And my wife is antagonizing me. What was I about to say? What was I about to say? Yeah, I was about to pull a trigger on it at Costco. Then they emailed me. Oh, nice. That's what's up. For some reason, I thought you purchased it, but I got you. I'm curious. I'm curious about that capacity. I am. Hopefully, it's at like 85. Hopefully, it's higher. I just know that the river, the EcoFlow R600 and the battery expansion dip didn't fare well, and I don't know that my EcoFlow River Max is faring well, but it also is a new battery paired with a older device. That device, I've had it for about a year. Hey, mama, want to come up? No, you don't. You ain't even say it. You tippy toeing? You want to say hi? You want to say hi? What's she eating? Oh, okay, true. Don't start touching daddy's computer. What's up, Axe? The i200 is it's good. I own the R150 and the R300 from GoLabs. Probably should have skipped the R150, yeah, because it's modified. Could go with two i200s or two R300s. I like the backup factor of having two small power stations. That's what's up, yeah. Two is one is none, right? Let's see here. Okay, now the Alcatel P2001, the big beastie one, is supposed to be coming this week. Man, I went through a time with them because I'm super like skeptical, I guess is a word, because I can't find you got a great co-host. Yeah, she don't say much. She's eye candy, right? um I was super skeptical because I don't know how people will try and scam YouTubers, you know what I mean? It's just like, so they wanted to send me the device so I can make a video, but they didn't want to necessarily send me the device free and clear. I'll just leave it at that. But then I was wondering, like, because it's not just them. I felt this way about other companies as well, where they want to like reimburse you. I get like really like, man, I don't know how I feel about that. You know what I mean? But it may work out. I've never gotten burned since starting with a company. The wackery didn't fare well, but you know what I mean? We'll see. I don't, like I said before, I don't count my chickens until they're here. So when it's here and when I have my money back, then I'll feel at ease. Until then, I'm looking at them with the side eye, as they say. Yeah. With my water? Yeah. You need to go get your own water. You're not about to drop debris in my water. Do you see her water cup around? Okay. All right. Thank you. So the question that I've been kind of pondering as it relates to this Alcatel P2001 coming is how will these big power stations alter my current existence, right? And I don't know. I'm not sure, man. It's gonna be interesting. It certainly has. Hopefully, you guys saw Jason Noy's video about the transfer switch. If you have not seen this video, you should go check it out. It's a really like cool video. Prepping on the Creek also has videos on his transfer switch situation. So I was watching Jason Noy's and it's like nice. I think I made so I'll have to update my panel per one of these guys. Um, I haven't heard from the other guy. I kind of like to try and support like black owned businesses or black people who perform certain services, but I may not necessarily be able to. I'm going to try. For my Caucasian brothers and sisters who may not understand that, it's just the black community has been so drained of its resources that we kind of want to make sure people who subscribe to the idea that we're putting like we're giving that money to people who look like us, which is not necessarily the same as a non-oppressed community doing that. No knock on them doing it either, but it's not quite the same. But anyway, I would like to find an electrician that can do the work for me, and I haven't had much success. So he was giving me some wild numbers, but I'm not an electrician. I don't know. Gee, should I only support white businesses? What do you think? Maybe I have been doing it wrong. What have you been doing? But do you understand the context of what I'm saying? Like just in all seriousness, because we have to raise our level of thinking here sometimes. You know what I mean? It's like a woman wanting to go to a woman-owned business or wanting to support a woman-owned whatever. You know what I mean? It's like it's the same thing. It's because there have been hurdles strategically placed in the way of that particular minority that makes you inclined to want to give your business to them. As a WP, which you may be, I'm not sure. Um, Y'all been doing business with each other for years, but fair enough. Centuries, millennia, since the inception. Um, that's an excellent example. The American owned. I actually was thinking about this a few months ago. The Buy American isn't a perfect parallel to people wanting to support black owned businesses. That's a perfect parallel, and it's one my Caucasian brothers and sisters can understand. You desire to buy American because you don't want that money going out to support interests that may not necessarily align with yours, or for whatever reason you do it. It's the same logic. Is it malicious against other companies? Maybe, countries. But is it more about supporting people who have a commonality? Absolutely. So I'm glad you brought that up. My brain didn't necessarily go there. I didn't say you were. You feel like it seems like you're being a little testy. Strange having to explain it exactly. Trust and believe other communities support their own. Black people are the only folks who feel they must explain their personal choices. Don't explain, just do what you're doing. Well, I don't mind explaining. I guess I'm one of those people because I feel like people have a certain mindset. They kind of live on the surface, and I don't mind enlightening. I don't mind raising the level of consciousness, as my man says on Four Elements United all the time. So I don't mind having the conversations. I like seeing people of all cultures interested in alternative energy, self-reliance, etc. I buy American. I don't care what race owns it. That's what's up. I dig it. Cheers. So the transfer switch will have to be probably predicated or whatever by my panel being upgraded. So, that's kind of where I'm at. And as it relates to these bigger power stations, I absolutely want to be able to have a transfer switch to take advantage of that. Now, think about it from this perspective, right? I have my tried and true, excuse me, I have my tried and true power stations that live in these zones. I have the EcoFlow River, the EB70, the EB120, my Bullbat. Um, that's about the four major devices that have really good specs on paper, right? So Alcatel comes in. Let's say whatchamacallit replaces my device, Bluetti. The AC200P comes in. That's two big devices. Where will those devices go? And they will essentially, in some ways, think about it from the standpoint of how many 200-watt panels I have deployed. Like I have a 200-watt panel deployed on the EB70 that can't quite fully take advantage of it. Granted, the 200-watt panels, even on the EcoFlow, which can take advantage of it, they typically both sit around 166. Sure, on a rare day, I'll see the EcoFlow River go up to like 180, 181. I think that's the highest I've seen, 175, stuff like that. So, you have these bigger devices that are going to come in and then essentially push out my mainstays, which essentially will push out a lot of my other ones. I think it's going to kind of be interesting. Like, where will the EcoFlow River Max end up? Where will it land if I end up putting the EB120 behind my TV, right? Because now the AC200P, if it sticks around, or if I get one in the future, AC200 Max, whatever, that'll be on probably my beastiest panel, which will be the Renogy 320. I may have another Renogy 320 sometime in the future, which will be plugged into the Alcatel or whatever. Maybe an EcoFlow, whatever instance the picture that can take in all of that power. So I'll essentially have like, my EB70, my EB120 could even be pushed in and made a kind of like tertiary device, because I have like four major zones. Or with the transfer switch, maybe I end up in a situation where having two big power stations kind of like backfeed each other. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see some of my tried and trues be like, whatever. But then I don't know if I can imagine, because I've been having smaller power stations for so long. I mean, it hasn't been long in terms of life, but for the life of this channel, I have the Rock Pals, the Jackery, the Energizer P320, the GoLabs R500, the whatever. I got like the i200 now, the Bowden's being my first one with 166 watt hours. Speaking of that, what I use that for, my kids listen to what's called the Bible Experience. If you have not heard of it and you're a person of faith or curious about faith, it's a fantastic like audible experience for the Bible. It's on YouTube, performed by a bunch of like Black actors and actresses. And they really kind of bring it to life. So my kids listen to that at night. So I use my Bowden's to plug that iPod Touch into, because the outlet is kind of far away and I'd have to do an extension cord. It's a 5-volt device. So I feel like that Bowden's handles it very well, keeps it charged up for like a week, and it's an iPod Touch legit. So that thing is probably like, who knows how many years old. I have a couple extra iPhone SEs that will probably replace it soon, maybe. But yeah. So not having a bunch of small power stations around is going to be interesting. Or in use is going to be interesting. Or maybe it just becomes a situation where those devices then become power dumps, because I really like the idea of being able to run lamps and lights from them and kind of deploying them where they're needed for the time. I think that that's really interesting. But when the transfer switch comes into play, right? You know what I mean? It's like then you don't have to be bothered. It's not as much of management. The real question is going to be when I get a transfer switch installed, will my habits change for using these power stations? I certainly hope not, right? Because that's kind of a part of my thing is using the power stations kind of day in and day out to kind of get a feel for them and how they're performing and be able to kind of share that with you guys via these live videos and then subsequently at some point in the future update videos on them and how they're performing. For example, the Jackery 300, even though I'm really impressed with that little device, the USB-C port is a little weird. And I don't even mean by being bidirectional. For example, I told y'all I bought that little cable, XT60 to USB-C. What's up, bud?
Right now, what time is it? Oh, 7 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So is it okay to have screen time?
I would say not quite, but see what mommy has to say.
Okay.
I mean, like, wait till mommy comes back down and then ask her and see what she has to say.
Okay.
All right. What was I saying? Sheesh. Oh, using the I had the XT60 to USB-C. The cable cost me about $10. I ended up buying a USB-C coupler for it because it's super short. Where is it? It's right here. This little thing, it has USB-C on both sides. So it would essentially function in a way that will allow you to expand or make a cable longer. I'm sure there's some degradation or whatever in voltage across those cables because they don't make super long USB-C cables. I think the longest I've ever seen was like 10 foot. So this coupler gives me a little cushion to put another cable in. And what I'm noticing is that the only devices, don't quote me on this, but it seems like the only devices that work are devices that have non-bidirectional USB-C ports. So, and then the EB120, which should work fine, but it's limited to 45 watts. So I don't think it pushes out enough power to charge the EcoFlow River, even though I have it set to 6 amps, which is pretty low. I think it can go up to 8. It used to be able to go up to like 10, but they were burning cables or whatever. I had one that I burnt up too. So the Jackery, it's interesting. I tried to charge another power station from it and it wouldn't work, whereas another one that had bidirectional would work. I tried to charge some power banks from it, which is also this issue of bidirectional causing a problem because the power bank may want to push power into the power station, which brings me to another little bit of a caveat. I wish these power stations with bidirectional would either have one bidirectional and one non-bidirectional, or maybe just put a switch on it. Put a switch on it. It's like, let me tell it whether to take it in or push it out. It's just like that's. I think that that's a good look. Or figure out a way to do it smartly where it can know what to do in those situations, or it can know that if a person unplugs and plugs in immediately, maybe switch it. I don't know how that stuff works. I wish somebody would figure it out though. See what y'all snapping and trapping about. I know I saw Regional Sky Girl talk about zones. Axmar says he's waiting on the replacement I200. What happened? I'll see if you commented on it. Bobcat traction, buy black, support black-owned companies. Ask God. Yeah, it's important, man. It's just as important as I watch a lot of like the Alaskan shows. It's as important as those people who have a similar situation where they're deprived of resources. They have like, whatever. It's important for them to be able to buy from each other and to support each other as a community so that community continues to thrive, right? Remo, YouTube. Oh, okay, somebody else is having issues with the I200. I got condemned for buying from Amazon all the time. I have no choice if I want to be prepared for hurricanes. I got hacked ordering from Walmart. I ordered from Max Oak and also almost lost 500. Mine never got to me. It was shipped and then damaged in transit, so it was automatically returned and I was refunded. Interesting. I'll tell you, these cloudy days get annoying. I just want sun. This whole week is cloudy and my solar is really low. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Because then when you get enough of those, right, you can kind of start charging the other ones and have them as a backup situation for. But I know your situation is specific because you got that AC200 Max and it has that fancy amp plug on it. And I know you talked about connecting them to each other and switching it, but you got to be careful about the amps coming out of it, which I think is interesting too. Really good video. If y'all haven't seen it, you should check it out. As soon as he made the video, I shared it on my community tab. So Jason Noy's video on transfer switches was enjoyable. Delta Max and the AC200 or the choice for me right now. Interesting. You would entertain going with non-LiFo? I think that those EcoFlow ones that don't have LiFo batteries are compelling for people who have outages a lot. And you kind of deal with that, like people in Cali who have rolling outages because you have an hour on, an hour off, or an hour on for whatever because of the wildfires and all that jazz. And you know you could kind of snap up some power real quick. I have that set here. Good to know it is on YouTube. The power gen is the only thing I was thinking of. Mine is running the transfer switch and charging hub for all my other power stations. Okay, I gotcha. Which are the 4 zones you have created? I'm saving up for the 200 max. Good luck. And that is it with power stations until I move into a house. I got you. And you know what's interesting about you being intentional about saving your money, Regional Sky Girl, is because there could be a Kickstarter from Bluetti or whoever that may allow you to get a newer device at a slightly or drastically reduced price for what you would pay for the AC200 Max right now, which I think is like $17.99. It may go on sale from time to time. So my 4 zones are this area right here that I sit in, which is powered by a 190 watt HQST panel and my EB70. My other zone is right over here in my living room where my TV and my router is, which is powered by a 200 watt rich solar panel and my EcoFlow River Max. My third zone is down in the basement, which has my bull bat on a 190 watt panel, and it has my EcoFlow, my EB120 by Bluetti on a 320 watt Renogy panel. And then my fourth zone is upstairs, where I have a 100 watt Renogy on the balcony that my wife is not crazy about. But it's something that I put up there temporarily. I move it out of the way when she's up there because she's not up there a lot. And that the device that is typically up there, it hasn't been up there for a while because she was kind of cleaning up the porch, getting ready for the summer months. I would say would probably be the Energizer P320 because bidirectional kind of plays a part in that. And I love bidirectional charging, but I hate it as it relates to daisy chaining power stations because it just does not work out well. But the Energizer P320 has a 60 watt non-bidirectional USB-C PD port on it. So if my Energizer is being charged from 60 watts of solar, that's going to get full within a day most times. What I can do is just plug in my GoLabs R500 into the 60 watt port, and then it'll just charge. It doesn't have to negotiate anything or anything like that. Also, an important thing to know is that the Energizer, when charging from solar, the 100 watt port, I believe, is disabled. You can't use them at the same time. So there's that. But it has a 60-watt port, whereas you compare that to the GoLabs R300, it has a 60 and a 30. The GoLabs R500, it's like they kind of keep stair-stepping each other. They're both very similar. It was like the GoLabs R300, then the Energizer P320, and now you got the GoLabs R500. And then Energizer kind of got weird with their 500 watt hour one that wasn't LiPo, didn't have a 100 watt PD port. It had some drawbacks to it, but it has its place in the world, I suppose. But that contrast is interesting. So the Energizer is typically up there because of that 60 watt port. Let's see. Matt is saying, yeah, I'd wait for one of those Bluetti sales. CJ at Loyola City Prepping recommended the AC200 Max. I was not going to watch City Prepping's 30-minute video to find out what he thought was best. Wayne sent it to me. I was like, nah, not 30 minutes. No, I'm not going to do that. He was like, I spent many hours watching you. I was like, yeah, but I'm entertaining. I'm not saying that City Prepping is not, but not 30 minutes. No. It's probably a good video. I will probably watch it at some point. I will probably watch it on 2x to get through it in about 15 minutes. Amazon days, does anybody know when the next day is? That's a good question. Thanks, EC4400. There's a show that I used to like called The 4400. My wife, she wasn't a fan. You wasn't a fan of 4400? You're welcome. I sat through it all. And I'm sure it was a good video. I'm sure. Question: do your wives keep asking why you need so many power stations? Well, I have the benefit of being a YouTube creator, so I get sent stuff for free, and I'm super strategic with my purchases. So the only limitation that I feel that I put on myself also, but then I also will consult my wife, is just what I buy in relation to what we can afford, right? So we had the whole thing where I was gonna take the plunge and buy an AC200 Max on the Kickstarter or whatever, because it was the same price as the AC200P, but had slightly better features. And I'm a man of faith. I'm a Christian. So I asked God, I was like, God, I'm feeling a little, should I buy this? I was kind of gung-ho about it, but we couldn't get on the same page. And I just kind of felt like that was like God being like, yeah, y'all not good money. And that was going to be like close to $2,000 that I would spend if you round up, right? I ain't talking to you. I'm just looking at you. My husband, cat, my social budget. I have the benefit of being the wife. It's my hubby that complains about my fascination with solar power stations. Yeah. So I don't get a whole lot of flack. About it. We live in Florida, so the wife understands how crucial it is to have power during hurricanes. Yeah, man. I'm super intrigued by weather. I was actually just watching something on. We got Disney Plus recently or something like that. And it's this show on there about capturing hurricanes. And they gave their cameras to all of these people that worked in marine life. And, they had I was mad. I'm mad that it's only 6 episodes of it, but that stuff, man, is crazy. It's crazy. I don't want to live anywhere with hurricanes. I'm from New Orleans. I typically say New Orleans because I'm weird. Yeah, I'm cool off hurricanes. I'm in some ways understandably scared of tornadoes. So I don't want to live anywhere that has tornadoes. I'm good with my snow region. I'll take snow. Snow's good. I had a problem with my AC200 Max, but they replaced it, so I can't complain. That's what's up. How long did it take them to like? What was your experience like, Matt, dealing with them to replace it? Yeah, I couldn't imagine living in Florida. Jeez, man. Like it's places like Barbados and just getting hammered. Jamaica just gets hammered by those storms. And I'm not saying they get hammered all the time. It's just like, man, that's too much. I don't understand it. I literally like insurance companies have to be making a killing to even like for that to even be a thing where your insurance company gives you money to rebuild your stuff that a natural disaster and they try to jerk you around. I'm not giving them no cape for saving folks, but welcome back, Joe. Um, that's just wild, wild. It was pretty good. I made a video and showed it to them, and they sent me a printing label to print it out. It took a few weeks. That's the only thing I don't like, but I get it. I feel like just let me charge my card for the replacement. Send me my stuff, and if I don't send you your stuff back, just keep the money. I don't want to have to wait for you to ship something to me after I ship something to you when it's your device that's the issue. I don't like that whole process. I kind of want GoLabs to send me something now and then I'll send this dip back to them. But I understand that people are not, a lot of people don't have integrity. They'll take advantage of any situation that they can. But that's where the credit card comes in. You got problems, I got solutions. Um, let's see. So I also, it would be great if there was a service center, but I'm nowhere near Vegas where it is. So I don't know what would be great about that. Just bringing it to them, being out of a power station while they fix it. I don't know. I don't think that would be great, but okay, I dig it. Another thing as it relates to these power stations that could possibly replace my tried and true ones is the EcoFlow. Even though I really like the device, it's not LifePo. So I'm gonna start seeing that 80% capacity soon if I'm not seeing it already, because I cycle it daily. It definitely gets this work from solar and being used. It's been powering my internet for forever. That's the main staple that I use it for. And if the sun is like on Habib Marwan, then I'll plug my TV into it, which uses 40 watts. But 60 watts runs through that 500 watt hour capacity really fast. It won't last me super long. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me for that. Just shorter wait time, really. I got you. Still not as good as what you suggested, though. I feel you. Yeah. If you were close enough, the shipping wouldn't be so bad. I wonder what it's like for people who order power stations who like live on the West Coast, because a lot of my power stations get shipped from like Cali or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know where else they come from, but I don't really get a lot of stuff being shipped from the East Coast. Now returning some stuff, it may go somewhere on the Eastern Seabourn or whatever it's called. But most of it comes from Cali. So people who live out west, if you ordered a power station, does it typically get to you faster? Do y'all get 2 day shipping? Like, how does that work? Because we gotta wait on our stuff. Hey, Rhea. They get it in a day or so, but EcoFlow has some East Coast fulfillment centers in New Jersey and Georgia. Interesting. That's interesting. That's cool to know. Sadly, I am not in EcoFlow's good graces in that capacity. One day, I suppose. One day. Um, Jason, are you still around here? Because I'm curious about this PV based UPS that the AC300 has. Um, that's, or whatever it is, PV priority, I'm not sure, but I'm extremely intrigued by that. I wish I could kind of get something like that going, but I have to settle for my old, my situation that I have going on. One thing that's interesting about Alcatel and the P2001, one of the listings on Amazon has a Q&A. This is an official Q&A on their page that says it's a 2000 watt hour device. And let's just say it's a 2000 watt capacity capable inverter. They say that on one of their pages, if you plug in a device, it's ridiculous, but like, don't use more than 500 watts on the plug. And I feel like that has to be a misprint. So that's one of the first things I want to test when the device gets here. Because again, like I said, I'm a skeptic. So I'm wondering, like, are these devices that they're selling different from the official ones, or do they have different limitations? Because this is in their Q&A section. I just hope it's wrong, but I'm quite intrigued by that. My EB55 was shipped from City of Industry, California. What does that mean? 2 day shipping. Oh man, lucky you. My GoLabs I200 has had no issues charging my gadgets. It has replaced the Watt No Fun for this job. That Watt Fun, the Coslow, and there's another one that are like just above like 100, and one of them's really high, but one of them's like 120 or 129. I don't necessarily favor that form factor anymore. It reminds me of my first Rock Pals, and I'm just like, I'm kind of over that. And I think Silver Stacks Prepper, he was the first one that kind of like put me on that one. And he said it charged at 100 watts from solar, but I think Joe Trott, or the Practical Gadgeteer, he was saying that it was 60. So I don't know if it was ever 100. I don't know if that model that he had was 100 or what. But everybody who seemed to be familiar when I talked about it on whatever video I talked about way back when said it was 60 watts. But I was really intrigued by that device at 199, which is the cheapest I had seen it. And then it kind of went back up to like 269, 249, which was less intriguing. I was intrigued by it at 200 because if it was a LiFePO that could get in 100 watts of solar, if y'all have been around for a while, at one point in time, I was trying to find something that was a little bit better in solar input that was cheap, because, coins are not necessarily plentiful. And even when they are a little more than usual, I'm still very shrewd with my coins. Hey, Auntie Blessings. Let's see here. Man, I have to ship so many devices. I actually talked to the person who run the Bull Bat today. Super gracious. I'm grateful because he won that thing months ago, at least 3 or 4, probably a good 3-4 months. But I ran into an issue with it where my integrity had to come into play because these batteries, it's like some of the power stations can be shipped and some of them can't. Just depending on what's going on. Don't get me to making up policy because I don't know it. But this box had the stickers on it. And I don't know if, what do they call it? What do the politicians do? Policy. I don't know if policy just hasn't caught up to LFP batteries or LiPo batteries, but you can't ship batteries of a certain size on an airplane or whatever, right? So my wife took it to a FedEx warehouse that kind of had like a hazardous material expert or whatever. And they were saying, yeah, you got to do that from home. You can't even bring it here. The people at the real FedEx store told me I could bring it to there and then they could do it. But I don't even know if I could do that. But they were just like, yeah, you typically want to have that picked up by a truck personally. Then it has to be driven. So it's still sitting here, man. It just became a whole thing because now I have to figure out, thanks 2%. Now I have to figure out how to do the labels on my own in the FedEx web, whatever. But I told them I'm going to do it. It's not like I haven't said that before, but I'm going to try and do it now because I have to basically get in this shipping mode. I need to ship the Bull Bat to him. I need to ship the AC200P back. I need to ship the GoLabs back to GoLabs. And I could possibly be giving away one of these dips soon. I think I'm gonna give the smart list away soon. Because that's my only like real outlier. It has a weird plug and it yeah, it's just weird. But it's 500 watt hours of lithium ion. Now, the reason why my integrity kind of came into play, the guy was appreciative when my wife talked to him about like, us really looking into the process and kind of figuring it out because, people lie. They try and get over. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of feel like there's some wiggle room for me with shipping lithium iron phosphate battery because we know they're less volatile, right? So that's what I mean about policy not catching up. I kind of hate that this country is a country built on this rigid adherence to law. I think that that's kind of silly. I kind of get it, but it really like shoots us in the foot a lot that we work that way instead of just being like smart and not being so corrupt morally and all that jazz. But because this bull bat is a lithium ion battery, I feel like even if I wanted to kind of like skirt the stuff, which my conviction wouldn't necessarily let me do, I would think about it, but I don't think it would let me. I feel like shipping lithium ion when I know that that's why they don't want you passing that stuff along, I have to do it the right way. So I have to figure it out and then get it out. Boom, 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 boom. Call it live, 99 Fab TV. Hey, Cow Dog Connoisseur, good to see you. Those rules sound dumb. What do politicians do? They lie. You're really jaded, sir. But there's something to that, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. It's sad that people who would do the most good in political positions don't want to run because of the cesspool that it is, or it seems to be. I don't want to be declarative because I've never talked to anybody in DC. We used to live in DC for a little bit. I think the public faces of politicians give all politicians a bad rep. But yeah. Anywho, some things that I'm really curious about with this Alcatel when I get it is there's no way to slow down the charging. Yeah, they turned up. What time is it? 1 hour. What you want to eat tonight, baby? Today been a rough day for you? Oh, true, you should. Hey, man, it's a solar channel. Hey, guys, y'all are being too loud. I feel like the show being on is almost unnecessary because all they doing is playing. The people in charge of making laws don't know anything about everything. Don't know everything about everything. That's an interesting thing too. The age gap. I'm so disappointed. Madam Secretary, her husband said something to the effect of the system is like just greatly flawed, but it's like the best one we have. So we have to kind of try and work within it and change it as is necessary. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Keep original packaging to be able to return batteries with the HAZ label. That's true. I keep all my boxes, sadly. I got like almost 20 power stations, so that's a problem. Jason Oil on one of his last live, I think he said he had a whole room kind of devoted to his power station stuff and panels and all that jazz. What?
You mentioned Jason Oil's name about 12 times since I've been here.
He's a colleague, a YouTube colleague. I don't know if I would call it that. I don't know about that. We have a special guest pulling up.
Hey, everyone. Good evening. Won't be here for too long.
Greetings and salutations.
Greetings and salutations. How y'all doing?
Habarigani. Let's see.
She would ask to read a book right when I pull up.
I know, right? As soon as I sit down, she want to read. Peekaboo. Good evening. This is Leroy Tyrone Yomashima. Man, don't get me started on those multimillionaire dementia having dinosaurs of
You ain't lying.
age and term limits needed desperately. See, that's the thing though.
And I
We
agree.
don't necessarily need to arbitrarily inflict the rule of age limitations and term limits. We got to get away from this arbitrary stuff. It's just like, look, listen, man, there has to be some kind of way that if you are still effective, if you are still serving your people, and I mean like really serving your people, to stick around, right? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, man. I wish Pelosi was gone. I wish whoever was behind her was gone. I wish Mitch McConnell was gone. I wish whoever was behind him is gone. It's like, I just get him out of here. Get him out of here. Chuck Schumer, whatever it
There's
is.
some point where I feel like I kind of like as far as the Republican Party, I like the old brigade, but the decent old brigade. We mentioned Mitt Romney, Cheney when he was alive, like
Cheney? Or are you talking about
not Cheney? I'm sorry,
McCain.
like just I want to say the old school guys, like old school like Republicans who were just not the fringe. You know what I mean? Like I cannot stand that chick Marjorie Greene Taylor. Like just looking at her face, I just be like, I can't stand you.
It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
Oh man, I do feel like I want our next president to be like no more than 50. You know what I mean? Like maybe 55. But if the next president could please just not be so old, I'm tired of these old people, man.
It's like listening to you.
You know
Oh,
what,
wow.
guys? Go upstairs. Go upstairs.
CJ
Go
says
in your
the
room
boomers
and
have
play.
held this country hostage with the status quo.
Go
Nothing
upstairs in your
will
room.
fundamentally
I'm not
change.
even watching Project.
BS. It's like,
Go.
you better get a grip. I thumbed up at number 17.
We do need a fresh slate. And I hate to say it because, I'm a fan of Designated Survivor. And I just love just how.
Don't say that. Don't say.
I don't feel like I don't want that to happen.
Don't say that.
I don't want that to happen. I absolutely don't want that to happen. They were talking about like death. You know what I mean? I don't want that to happen. But the concept of the clean slate, you know what I mean? It just like, is there a way other than that type of like dire situation?
Yeah.
JoJo, come here.
It's wild.
I missed Designated Survivor. Did that show get canceled?
It just ended. It like got canceled and then Netflix picked it up and then on Netflix it just kind of like whatever. What happened now? Yeah, we were told to hope for change. Yeah.
Okay, well press pause, but y'all keep being loud after we told you over and over and over again.
I read that article. It was 5 years old too. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying that a sitting member of Congress needed to be prescribed Alzheimer's meds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that sucks. I mean, and yeah, I guess it does render them, incapable of serving. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. And I get it. I understand that, sometimes we just have to have like sweeping change, but I don't want to see someone effective being arbitrarily just kicked out of their job because they're older. You know what I mean? It's just like,
True.
I'm not really a fan of that, but I don't know how you I's milk carton pick has been canceled. Yeah. I saw your comment on my Facebook page. Yeah, man. I just couldn't do the live. I'll get a video weekly and a live weekly. And then every now and then a bonus video. I have a couple shorts that are going to be coming out soon. Some interesting stuff that I did before we took a little trip about an hour away. I feel like I'm muted, y'all, because our middle child is quite the emotional one, which is rubbing off on our younger son. I call him the middle son because he has middle child tendencies. Dale always gets on me about that because we have 4 kids
now. We don't have a
now.
middle kid no more.
Yeah, he's the middle child.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give us 1 second. Yeah, we're back. He's the middle boy child. The interesting thing is I'm a middle child as well, and I was really emotional as a kid, and now I'm dead inside. So I don't want him to grow up to be dead inside, but he needs balance. You have 2 middle kids now. That's interesting.
Ah, 2 middle kids. What?
Because the youngest son,
Sure. Just keep her out of the bathroom.
You don't want him to lock the gate?
Hey, thank
Jimmy,
you for that
what's
$10,
happening?
man.
That's a new name. Love the insights of your channel and your take on solar nuances, living in an apartment or townhome. What do you recommend for solar panel options in windows in terms of fit and portability? I actually have a video where I kind of entertain and explore that idea with a 50-watt SunPower flexible panel. The panel did not do great in my window. I have 2 like vertical sliding windows. It did not do great in the window until I put it outside of the window. So I do think that people like, I mean, if stuff just got real. First of all, thank you for the super chat. I know my wife said thank you, but thank you for the super chat. If stuff got real, then we all just would have to figure out who are in apartments how to get stuff outside of your window. You know, a little folding panel, something like that's something I wanted to talk to y'all about real quick. Something like this is a 60-watt flex solar panel. It's a quad folding 60-watt panel, which I think is interesting. Oh, you want to go get me a Band-Aid?
No. Not good.
I feel like that's the only solution. It's just not look. Something like this, you could figure out how to put it outside of your window. You may have to hang it. You may have to leave your window slightly agape, ajar. But it's gonna be interesting. I'm sure if stuff really got interesting, if people like I think about Hurricane Sandy and stuff like that, how it impacted New York. New Yorkers were out of power for a good bit. You'd figure it out. You figure out how to get something outside of your window. What are you laughing at? Oh, panels in Windows have dramatically reduced output. Yeah, that's what I experienced. Windows have UV coating, which reduces the intake. It is impossible. And I too live in an apartment. I have to go outside. Enjoy the live. Got to jump off to help with dinner. All right, man. Enjoy the family time. Off topic, I noticed all of the Converse tees. I'm a Converse fan too, with 15 pairs of Chucks. You have a collection too.
Nice.
I don't have a collection, but I like Chucks.
He would have a collection if he was okay with how much they cost.
Yeah, and I'm not okay. The pairs I have now are because my wife bought them because I refuse to pay $60 for a pair of like rubber and canvas. That just feels disrespectful to me.
I've even considered getting a couple of T-shirts for the boys, Converse shirts, just like his, because I'm sure they see his shirts, and it would just be cool to have a few shirts like Daddy. And it's just like, I know how you feel about it.
But check out that video, Jimmy. I did 2 videos on the SunPower panel. I did one just kind of talking about it, and I did one with me trying to test it in the window. And it has grommet holes in them, so you could essentially. Some people. There are a couple comments on that video that talk about like interesting ways. Like somebody talked about Velcro, like adhering some Velcro to space outside of your window, and then if you had to put it outside and stick it to it. But there's even somebody around here that was around back then. They used solar panels in their windows, and they just kind of took the power that they got. They may have had windows that weren't as new and blocking the sun power coming in. but that video should be helpful. I mean, there's ways you can do it. I thought about like using some type of like, what do they call that cord that the hunter people like? Paracord. I feel whatever. Like you could use some paracord or whatever and tie like little fish weights to it so that the panel, when you stick it outside of the window, it doesn't like flap so much. But you wouldn't want to do that on a windy day. I mean, if you have to figure it out, you will figure it out. You'll figure out a way. If that's a wire hanger or whatever, people will get power if they need it. If it goes on long enough and you got that panel, you'll figure it out. But you're welcome. Hey, Darlene, good to see you. Inside window, I get 24 watts from a 100-watt folding solar panel. Thanks for sharing that, LDS. That's fine. 24 watts is fine.
You're missing the whole 76 watts.
But think about that in terms of like, if something really happened, your cell phone is going to use about 10 watts. You could probably run your internet with about 10 watts of that power. You know what I mean? It's like you could make it work. A lamp uses about 10 watts if you got a good bulb in it. A lot of us have those USB lights that use like 5 watts. So 25 watts is fine. I mean, if like stuff was real, that's fine. That's how I feel about it. You would want more power, sure, but yeah, it's fine. I got the bestest tool to disconnect MC4 cables. Which one? I like the Renogy one. The bestest. Yeah, I guess that's a word. I don't know.
It is it? I mean, it's a word. Wrongerer. That's a word.
No, we're not gonna do that one. We're not gonna do that one.
Yeah.
As a project, I removed the panel from my Casio and wired it directly to my this guy. Day one fishing, what's happening? Just picked up a used 290-watt panel. Just did a test and got 280. Wow. Best $80 spent. Absolutely. It's huge though. Yeah, I bet it is. I bet it is. What are measurements on it? Probably like 80 by 40 or something like that. Or 78 by 40. I'm sure it's huge. Those older panels that you can get for cheap, they're huge. And that's why I kind of like entertaining the idea of a new one. I feel like I'm kind of out of focus a little bit. Oh, that's not bad. 66 by 40 is not bad. My panels are 320 and it's 66 by 40. So I think you're in good shape. I bought some O-ring pliers. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever heard of O-ring pliers. That's so funny as a project. Oh man, I used to have a solar keyboard. I actually still have it, but the battery in it died, so I didn't. And I had it for years. I had that keyboard for like 8 years before the battery died in it. I think it's been a while. It's the Logitech K700, I believe. It's a panel that runs a keyboard that runs off of solar power. Are O-ring pliers easy to find? I'm sure. Why would they be hard to find? I use O-ring pliers when fishing. Nice. Let's see here.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 second.
She's down here.
Oh. What did he say?
How did she get down there?
Something that I'm gonna start doing. Somebody reached out to me. They reached out to me about a power bank, but initially they reached out to me about another one of these. But it's a different style of desktop charger. I actually took this desktop charger with us traveling. That's the good thing about these particular devices. They give you distance from the wall to charge your devices, which can be cool and useful in some instances. But what I tell those companies is I can't make a dedicated video about those products because the channel is about power stations and solar panels. But what I can do is mention it on the lives. So they may send me their power bank. I use my power banks still, I treat them just like my power stations. I use them very often. I even have 2 micro USB power banks that I have that I still use. And I kind of like low key hate micro USB. I try to avoid it at all costs, but I still use them. It's a 10,000 milliamp hour and a 20,000 milliamp hour. It's like I'm not going to just let it sit in a drawer. So I use them. So they're thinking about sending me a desktop charger. I think it's a 6-port with a USB-C PD joint. What?
I'm sitting here so bored.
Oh,
The conversation.
that's what's up. Like you should be bored. You're not into this. I don't feel bad.
We just yawn like, oh, this is so boring.
What's on your mind? We could talk about what's on your mind. But anyway, what I was saying was, I took that stuff on a trip with us that we took recently. I also took the Sevcom's power station, and I also took this 60-watt flex power panel. I didn't get a chance to use them, but I did bring them with me. And I felt really good that I had them with me, because if anything was to happen while we was out there, we actually went out there to kind of visit a state park where we went. I did not like being in the state park. I'm not an outdoors guy. My wife is kind of, but I went along with it. It was a whole thing. We actually have a vlog that's going to be our like welcome back vlog. So the people who are interested, we have a family channel called The Richards Revealed. We haven't put up videos in a very long time, especially since the action happened about 2 years ago. But that's going to be the video we put out soon. I actually need to finish that video off in terms of the recording, to kind of get my wife's closing thoughts on where we went to visit. But I took some solar stuff with me. I used the Sevcom's light one night to give off some light in the room, but my through night flashlight was a better pairing. So that was pretty cool. So I'll have a moment where these kind of like one-off devices that I think are cool for you guys to know about, not just to get stuff to show it to you and kind of fulfill my requirement because I showed it to y'all, but I think it's stuff that would be interesting to you. And I'll start mentioning those things on the live stream. Hopefully not too much. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. This idea of the channel changing, right? As the channel grows, I would hope that you guys would give me grace to grow with the channel. And I would hope that the channel doesn't change I hope it changes for the better. But I feel like that I see people kind of mention that people change, they're different. And in some ways, I just hope that I don't change as it relates to the content that I make and it becomes worse, or where, I've used to do this, but now he doesn't anymore. And in some instances, I think that that's fair. But I have to put it within the realm of me, who I am and how I conduct myself, versus some other people who change. And it's just like, yeah, that's a bit off-putting. I'm not kind of feeling the way that they do things differently now. I typically don't have those kind of feelings about folks, but I see it often. So I kind of wonder about that. Like, how will the channel change that will cause some of you guys who've been around from the inception to feel like, yeah, I'm not a fan of what Ive is doing anymore. Something that I was thinking about just today. Okay. Let's see. I hadn't heard of them until I. What are you talking about, woman? Found them on Amazon. I have a power bank I use, but it charges at maybe 10 watts. Yeah. Which loses. I have an Anchor that charges at about 40 watts, but all my other ones, they charge at 18. And then my micro USB ones, they charge at about 10 watts. So they take forever. I hate that they take forever. And that's kind of why when the company reached out, I was like, I see y'all have a power bank that has a digital display on it. I was like, that's kind of cool. I feel like the folks would be kind of interested in that. It's not necessarily super useful to people who have power stations, but I tell you what, I like the idea that I could power a light with just a little power brick instead of a power station. It gives me a lot of flexibility where I can place that light. I can put those little power banks on a ledge. I talked about this in one of my other lives. Put it on a window ledge, run the light, the USB light up to the curtain rod is how I like to place them. I think that that's really convenient. I'll even put them in closets, the lights themselves, and I'll just put them on the hanger and let the hanger has like pants on it or something like that so it doesn't get all weird and wobbly. And then I'll put my USB lights in there. That's another way that I like to use them. But I like those little power banks. They'll run those lights for a good bit. 5 watts against a 72 watt hour power bank is a good time, right? A good time. Let me see what y'all snapping and trapping about. Another thing that I wanted to talk to y'all about. I don't see much in the way of comments on me changing. Y'all just gonna be like, I've changed. I don't like Ive anymore. Ive, you do solar, and we'll probably always touch back on solar, but do videos, whatever you're interested in. Yeah, I mean the channel's about solar, so that won't change. But I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Don't use change. It's more like growth. Yeah, and I think that's the difference, right? Because some people on YouTube change, or rather, they start showing their true selves.
Or they shift. Like I feel like there should always be space and room for people to shift or to pivot or to change or to evolve. It's like I don't have to be the same all the time. Like I don't know. I think that that's just unhealthy to have that expectation. Like that's just not cool. I don't think.
I just think it's in the realm of reasonability, then yeah, sure. You want anybody to change and grow and be different and so on and so forth. But some people, like, they don't change for the better. They get kind of brand new.
Or even that, yeah, get brand new. It's like, and then even then, like, is there really a problem with getting brand new? So long as it's, if it's genuine, sincere. Yeah, I mean, it's not always phony. Like you decided to go this way, even though you've been doing it this way for however long it's been. Like,
But what if it is phony though? Like what I'm saying is I live in the realm of reasonability. I'm not living in the realm of people who are like, yeah, well, I've used to reply to every comment and heart every comment, and then he stopped, he changed. It's just like, okay, well, yeah. I mean, there's thousands of comments now. I can't heart every comment anymore. I can't reply to every comment anymore. You know what I mean? I just hope that people will be reasonable enough to not point out those type of changes. But if I've turned into a person who got like rude and impatient and stuff like that, I feel like people should call me on that. And hopefully I won't do something like that. You know what I mean? Which I don't think I will. Sister B, what's happening? I enjoyed one of your previous videos when you spoke on other subjects. I'm sure I'm not alone. We'll contact you regarding. I was just, man, I saw your email and I almost responded to you, but I remember you were in the last live and I told you to reach out and you didn't. So I wasn't going to force the issue. I felt like maybe she's fine, but I thought about you like just today. Yeah, you change as you learn and grow. I do think you should do more to safeguard your identity and dress, especially as your channel grows. Yeah, that's going to be tough. Joe said, not worried. Dell will keep you in line. That's a fact. That's a fact. Yeah, I don't know what I could do. I've watched like videos on that and I don't know, man. That's something that's always concerning. But I guess I try to be someone who does not get into situations where I'm, beefing with people and being rude to folks and not being respectful.
It's not even realistic for you.
Yeah.
Like, what would be a realistic change, or you know what I mean?
Because I'm not necessarily a nice person, right?
You don't say.
So it's like my wife had made a post on Facebook, and I think she said, "Oh, it was a video of Paul Rudd going into like Starbucks in some film he was in, and he ordered a large coffee. Have y'all seen that clip?" And the girl behind the counter is like, "Oh, you mean a venti?" And he's like, "No, actually, I don't. I mean a large." And then he just goes on this little tirade about how Venti is not large. He was like, so you're dumb in 3 languages. That's the punchline.
Right. Yeah, at the end of it all, he just destroyed her.
She characterized me in that way, but I don't think I'm rude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not rude to people. I am blunt. I can be blunt.
I would dare say that you're not necessarily friendly.
Right.
I'd hate to. I don't want to go into saying that like you're, what you are more so than what you are not.
Yeah,
Because you have your moments, but I feel like because
I
he's
do.
quieter and you just kind of chill, and I feel like people think like, oh, and they see like his moments. People think like, oh, he's so sweet and he's so kind and he's so nice, and it's like y'all don't understand like what he really thinks and how he really feels. You know what I mean?
Stop.
Like he definitely is cool, definitely sweet, and all those wonderful things, but to a degree, because y'all introverts.
Yeah, yeah,
Introverts. Man. I mean, y'all are great. I'm not gonna say y'all not, but y'all not people.
yeah. True. We are not. We are not. I was actually just looking at a post that I made that talked about. It was this observation that I made that like ultimately extroverts make in the introvert and extrovert dynamic, because typically people marry, an introvert will marry an extrovert, right? So what happens when those two people come together, dare I say, is the extrovert is usually the more people.
You want to be a part of the conversation too.
They usually the more people-centric person, so they have more practice with being mindful of people. An introvert is typically a person who's like, we be chilling, you know what I mean? So it's like, I think because of that, we are less thoughtful, we are less mindful of others, we are less like outdoory activity centric. So it often can feel like the extrovert is like giving more, you know what I mean? Because they're more people centric. So I think it's unfair to look at us and to judge us by that standard when you've been being around people your whole life and I've been not being around people my whole life.
I mean, y'all have, there are introverts who have really great social skills,
Yeah, but social skills is just interacting with people in the manner by which you interact with them. It's not like caring for another human being you're in a relationship with. Why y'all matching?
All of us.
No, don't put that. Don't try and put me in that group.
Great
Y'all are wearing pink. Both of y'all are wearing pink and gray.
Yeah,
Weirdos. You don't know who the extrovert is, Auntie Blessings? I guess that's fair because on the camera I'm pretty bubbly, but yeah, my wife is the extrovert. I'm bubbly. I'm bubbly compared to like not on camera, I suppose. You know what I mean? But being nice is overrated. Being honest, blunt is key. Oh, day one fishing. I don't agree with that. He said being nice is overrated. Being honest / blunt is key.
I would say being honest and direct is definitely key. I don't think being nice is overrated unless it's, how people feel like you should always be nice no matter the circumstances. And it's like, to a degree, I can understand what he's saying. If it's like, it's a little bit overrated. Like this situation doesn't necessarily warrant me being nice. Like something, I mean, I can get that too.
I'm not into this. You want to sit with me? You can sit with me. This ain't climb time. Grumpy. She's like a second away from being grumpy. Bubbly is the wrong word. Swamp gas is bubbly. Okay, whatever. I guess Set Tight is like that. He's technical, and as a technical person, I can kind of appreciate it. But I mean, like the fake nice, the mask people wear. Yeah, I got you. Stop that too. You're not here for that.
She gotta go upstairs.
Yeah, she need to. She got you wrapped around her finger. Don't say stuff like that because it's not true. I hate when people say that, man. I don't hate it, but it's just like everybody likes to project that stuff. Like, oh, your first girl. It's like, no, she gets parented just like the boys get parented. She don't get no slack. You treat her differently because she's a girl in some ways, but nah, she ain't got me wrapped around no finger.
He doesn't like cliches. He doesn't any cliche. He goes against it. Like a cliche as simple as what do I like saying? Teamwork makes a dream work. He hates that.
That's so
Like
stupid.
who hates that?
So stupid.
Like why is we have like teamwork makes every time we work together and we get something done, it be feeling so good. I just be like, teamwork makes a dream work.
It's such a stupid thing.
No, it's to irritate them because there's no need to be irritated by something that's just so real.
It's like Ninja. We bought a box upstairs, and you talk about teamwork makes the dream work. Like, what is that? What's dreamy about that? That ain't no dream. Now, fam. If I edit the videos and you post them, and you know what I mean, it's like, okay, that's an act. Like, teamwork does not make the dream work. This ain't no dream. You opened the door for me to bring the trash out. It's like, shut up.
Teamwork. Like,
Shut
it
up.
just takes teamwork. You also, I mean, I don't agree with it either. With a happy wife, happy life.
No, that's stupid too.
Yeah, I agree with. I agree. What do they say instead?
Happy spouse, happy house, something
Yeah,
like that.
that's like a better one. You know.
Or whatever. Another dumb one is hurt people, hurt people. It's like,
that's true, right?
it's an oversimplification of a. It's so annoying. So annoying.
Happy house, happy spouse. What? What? If y'all are quiet, yeah.
So y'all explain to me, what does it mean for a child and or girl to have her father wrapped around her finger? Because it means a certain thing to me, and I'm not that kind of father.
What does it mean to you?
What people mean when they say that is that the girl can do no wrong. Daddy always kind of placates to her, and she doesn't get disciplined, and whatever she wants, she gets, and so on and so forth. And that ain't gonna never be the case around here, ever.
Okay.
I just gotta be clear about that. The 100% emoji.
I don't care for that either.
That's just you being racist. 2%.
When I see that, I just be like, okay, I guess.
Quiet, right? Okay. Give them a little time. What does that mean? Well, I wouldn't go that far. Okay, well, what does it mean? Explain it to me. You just explained it, 99 Fabrication TV, because that's what it means when people say that. She got you wrapped around her finger. I remember very vividly in any like relationship, friendship, whatever, because I didn't have a whole lot of relationships, but I would tell people like, I don't backpedal either. I'm not going to like change what I said because you looked at me crazy or something like that. It's like, that's what I said, fam. Like, I ain't going to backpedal. Charge. Whatever. Y'all wrapped around the finger stuff. I feel like I'm as kind to her as I am to my boys. Like, I love my boy as well as I can, as I continue to grow and thrive. And I'll love her as well as I can as I continue to grow and thrive. I have a soft spot for my 23-year-old daughter too, but I parented her firmly. I dig that.
I feel like could you say that maybe you have a soft spot for having a girl? Because I wonder if there's such this gung-ho desire and need to like go against the grain or the idea of, a girl having her father around the finger, that like you don't allow her to have a place in your heart that's a little bit different, because she's a girl. Kind of like all of the boys, they have a special place in my heart because of who and how they are. not just because they're my sons. You know what I mean? Like there are like very specific things about each of them that I just absolutely love. And then with her, because she's the only girl, and I wanted two, but I finally, got one. It's kind of like, well, it's different with her. Like I still parent her the same as I parent the boys because I want them to have a lot of the same virtues, the same disciplines, the same, characteristics when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to, family life and home life and things like that. Um, but I appreciate the things that are just us girls, you know. And there are things that she does that none of the boys have ever done that I can recall.
Like,
Or just the way that we chill. Like she will like she'll climb up and lay on me and just hang out and want to be with me for a longer period of time
mm-hmm.
than for the boys. Like they wanted like to be nursed or something like that. They wanted something out of the deal, and then they were out. I don't remember any of them like just wanting to just chill and relax with me without being tired. You know what I
Interesting.
mean? Yeah, like she'll come climb up on me and she'll relaxing with me for a little while, and then whenever she's done, she'll go back and do her thing.
Yeah, true. Hey, Delgado, what's happening?
Hey.
Delgado, are you a teamwork makes the dream work sayer? Because I feel like you should be as much as you agree with my wife.
I was thinking to myself, like, probably.
I only mean that kids will be kids. They enjoy life, forget because they are having fun. They're supposed to. They get loud, in my opinion. Okay, true. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's your point. Yeah, I get it. I mean, but kids also have to understand decorum and behavior. I actually, you know what? I saw somebody posted that kids who are well behaved in public and at other people's houses, but are jerks at home, are like something like in affirming them, like saying that they're like the best. Like you did a good job or something like that. If your kids are free to be jerks at home, but also are trained well enough to be whatever, whatever. And I was like, that's one way to look at it. Because our kids are gonna be well behaved at home, and they're gonna be well behaved at your house. They're not gonna be jerks at home, like Charge. That's for the birds.
They're not gonna, I mean, as much as we can help it, because we have human nature that we have to contend with. But
Absolutely.
like, you're not gonna treat me dirty. I'm your mom. I mean, I feel like that way, across the board. Like, how for some reason we tend to treat like strangers, a lot nicer, a lot more pleasant, a lot friendlier. We have we get more concessions and things like that to like strangers. But when it comes to like our family, we're not as any of that to a degree. You know what I mean? Or like, people say, well, I can do it, but you can't. You know what I mean? Like I could talk, however I want to talk to my brother, but you can't. You not going to talk, trash to my brother. You know what I mean? It's just like, nah, that's not cool either. It's like some kind of, I think that's a little bit dysfunctional too. I get it to the degree that like we're around each other all the time, so there are more opportunities to get on each other's nerves, to rub each other wrong, and to, what I mean. So you don't be wanting to feel, you don't. So I can get how if a stranger comes, then it's like, a little more pleasant, a little bit nice, it's a change of pace. You know what I mean? I get all that. But for the most part, I want to make sure as much as possible, our kids understand that like your siblings are your preference, when it comes to treat like you treat your people, your family the best, you know what I mean? In every way. Granted, y'all gonna fight and as they, do every now and then, but we're not gonna let no outsiders receive, better treatment than, those who are on the inside. I mean, and I understand how that happens, but I
Mm-hmm.
feel like we have to be intentional. Sometimes you have to be intentional with, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It's something you have to cultivate because I remember I was like in high school because I feel like it's easy to be sparingly kind to someone. It's super easy. It's not easy to be kind to someone who's around you all the
All the
time.
time, and who gets on your nerves,
Facts.
because of all the time that y'all spend next to each other.
I had a moment in high school where one of my teachers, who happened to be a black male, which was nice. It was kind of rare. I had mostly black teachers, which was cool growing up in New Orleans. Um, but
Wow, that's cool.
he had made the point about like this idea of treating your siblings a certain way or treating them worse than you treat your friends. And I remember like I used to eat like a lot of like frozen pizzas and stuff like that. And like I would split my pizza with my homeboy. And when he said that, I had to like reflect and it was just like, yeah, man, I am like nicer to my friends than I am to my little sister. I have a younger sister and an older brother that lived in the house with me. Um, and after that, I had to like change my dip. So I started to treat her as kind as I treated them. I started to share with her as much as I shared with them. I mean, within reason. I don't know how well I implemented it, but she at least could get half my pizza. So it's something you definitely have to cultivate because then if you don't intentionally cultivate it, then there's that history of, always beefing. And then it's hard to be kind to them because y'all got history. It's like you were a jerk when I was little. Sorry. Let's see. What's up, Silver Surfer?
Hey.
It's easy to start taking family for granted. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It really is. And it sucks to be that way, but I think about like, yeah, that's just true. It just is what it is.
By the way,
Sorry.
Direct Tool Factory outlets are 50% off all reconditioned stock, including power stations, battery packs, DC fans. What does that mean? Is Directory Factory Tool and like a brick and mortar? Am I reading that wrong?
Yeah.
Direct Tool Factory. Directory Factory Tool. Yeah, I got that all messed up. All messed up. Public school. Hashtag. Okay, direct tool factory outlets. Okay, I've never heard of that. I wonder if people have those near them. Y'all should check that out. James is definitely the plug. So if he said, I believe it. Let's see. Oh, you late today. It's all good, man. We just hanging out. You can always replay it. You know what I mean? The manufacturer owns the outlet. Okay. I'm confused by that even more. But
so it's an outlet.
So are you saying that all like Ryobi, you did kind of get some examples. Let me scroll back up. Direct tool manufacturers, several brands, including Ryobi and Hart. Oh, interesting. Is there like I don't know how to direct people to take advantage of that. So you take it away, sir. Okay. Let's see how long we've been on, folks. 1 hour, 47 minutes. Do y'all have any questions? Oh, that's something I wanted to talk. Go ahead.
I want to say we had, just because it has to be a running thing, there was, I think, a week or maybe two where entertainment in the living room was interrupted multiple times a day for at least a week. Maybe, I want to say maybe, week and a half. Like, interrupted multiple times, like literally sitting back enjoying TV and it cuts off. Like, okay. Like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours later, it cuts off again. Like, really? And then maybe one day it happened like 3 times. Like it just that was like a week, a power station week from hell.
It was the GoLabs. The GoLabs kept turning off on me. We talked about this earlier.
Oh yeah.
I didn't say it was related to the TV, but
it was
I did.
Literally
but
impacted me and it impacted my life. And it was funny kind of seeing Ivan scrambling, or like he'd be sitting on the couch next to me and he'd be like, oh, because of course it impacted me. She just trying to touch you. Not cool, y'all. Just not cool. And for like a whole week though, it happened multiple times a day, multiple days. Crazy.
I was testing the GoLabs, and I told y'all the GoLabs has been
testing the GoLabs. You were testing it.
Yeah.
I was so ready to put the TV in the wall. Like, don't touch the TV. Just leave the TV alone. Go find another experiment. Go find somewhere else to, utilize this beautiful sun power.
Have I told you that I'm trying to love my GoLabs, but I agree with your wife. Now, which GoLabs do you have? Enlighten me. LDS, let her manage her own power station with the TV. I'm not in a position to allow that yet. And that's going to be interesting as bigger power stations come into play, right? Because then man, I wanted to go through this whole. I don't know if I should make a video out of it or do a live situation. It probably would be better served as a video, but I want to talk about some of the shortcomings of these devices, because if the EcoFlow had a bi-directional port, it would be dope. We would never have to have issues with the power going out, because I could always backfeed it, especially since I don't use a lot of power from that device. But as we get bigger power stations, then that frees up my bigger power stations to kind of be able to provide better relief. You can't have that. You can't have it. Did she eat already? Like she
Multiple times.
remember the GL500? GL500? What was that? Am I missing something? Yeah. Love the channel. Just don't start making every episode about the world about to end and the apocalypse is upon us like some other channel. Oh man, that's funny. I had to stop. I stopped watching. Not necessarily for that reason, but I didn't like his thumbnail approach. What's his name? Shoot, I haven't watched him in that long. Jeez. It's like the Vin Diesel kind of looking dude. He's like Canadian prepper. And I don't begrudge him or anything like that, but his thumbnails just be like real like, do this now or else. It's just like, you know what? I'm okay. I'm cool off Canadian prepper for now. I do that with some people sometimes. Like I just hide this. I say don't recommend this channel for a little bit, and then I'll circle back. I have not circled back to his channel yet, though. Yeah, the TV. I mean, I can't do it with the internet. You know what I mean? It's like the internet goes down. That's a problem. But the TV, it's like, But I literally, I did not expect this GoLabs to have problems like that. It kept turning off at like 30%. Then I charged it all the way up and it turned off at like 98%. It was crazy. I'm going to try and find a video. I'm going to put it up on Patreon. It'll be a free post, so you just go check it out. I also have another video I'm going to put on Patreon soon that's ready about over paneling power stations. That one's going to be interesting. I think the thumbnail is going to be a compelling one. I'm looking forward to having bigger ones, though. I don't know how big. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. I'm thinking about, I emailed my Bullbat. I pulled this out to find the contact information for Bullbat, because I want to try their other one, because I think it can take in up to 200 watts of power. I emailed them. I emailed the contact that I had, but I don't know if he still works for the company or not. He could be ignoring me because he wasn't a fan of one of the videos that I made. But I'm going to email them the email they have in here. It's a weird one, so I hope it works, because I want to try out their Adventurer 700. It's lithium ion, but it looks pretty cool. I'm really curious about it. Man, how should I do the giveaways, y'all? I have to figure out a way to include people who aren't on the lives. That was kind of like my first thing, because I feel like people who rock with me on the lives are like tried and true. But I feel like it's a bit exclusive versus inclusive to only do them based on live comments. So I don't know another way to handle that. Okay, yeah, GL, okay, R500. So is yours having an issue, Sharon? I also looked into your inquiry about Patreon. Um, and even though I found like instances of it, I didn't see a real option. It was more so like maybe I need to see if I can create a plan that will accommodate what we talked about. That's kind of what I have to look into. But I'll message you about that to give you some clarity. I was trying to do it like shorthand message. I really don't like enjoy texting. That's why I like using Instagram and Telegram because I can send those voice messages. A lot of times voice is just easier. But I talk to some people on the phone. Not a lot, but it happens from time to time. So that could work out. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, just have the people comment and pick a winner. That could work. I'm still not in a place where, for example, this is one way people could feel like I changed, right? I'm not in a place where I'm like fishing for subs, even though I kind of need to be, because I could get more devices and the attention of these companies quicker as my subs go up. But I want to give away these devices in a like a low key manner. Sorry, excuse me. No knock on people who do the giveaways. I'm not knocking that at all. But it'll typically be like, hey, I'm giving away this. You got to make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like the video, and so on and so forth. I'm not quite there yet, but if I ever got there, I can see people even being like, I've changed. He used to just give them away, directly. And I have very little space for unreasonable people, but I want to still be open to constructive criticism, right? I remember Alaska Prepper did a Christmas giveaway, Christmas tree giveaway. He used some app. That's interesting. As things get more complex, maybe, but I don't want to make stuff hard either. It always turns off and on its own when I'm using it. The AC, you're having the same issue? That's interesting because that's the issue that I'm having. What are you thinking about now? You just seem like you're stewing over there. Yeah. I don't know what to eat. Like your wife was saying, it keeps doing it right during in the middle of something. Yeah, that's a problem. If yours have that issue, you should contact them. And I'm pretty sure their email is support@golabs.com. Let me check real quick. Yeah, don't deal with that. If that's happening, it's a problem. Let's see. Yeah, support@golabs.com. If you have a situation where your stuff is turning off in the middle of stuff, that's a problem, right? Like, that's a problem. That's the issue that I have kind of with the Big Blue, but I think it's something in that screen that's wrong. It's not full. It's not at 60%. I knew it was just dead. So, a lot of people like Alaska Prepper. I didn't find any appeal in his videos. No knock on him, but I wasn't into it. I tried watching, but it didn't appeal to me, and that's okay. So I'll see what's going on with this AC200P tonight. I have a couple shorts I'm going to put out either tomorrow or over the next couple of days. I could put a few of them out because I recorded quite a few of them. And I need to start editing up some other videos. Tomorrow is going to be a banging Sunday too. So I'm definitely going to be using a lot of my power that I have tonight. Like my EB120 almost got full today. It's on 4 bars. The AC200P is just chilling. I'm not going to dump any more power into that. I did its first charge. I don't even want to really test with that one. I probably should. I have a love-hate relationship with Alaska Pepper. Please tell me why. Oh man, please tell me why. Um, so tomorrow's gonna be a good day, but here's the downside. We're gonna have to deal with carpenter bees tomorrow because it's gonna be hot. Or is it just gonna be bright? I think it's gonna be still chilly tomorrow. We have carpenter bees, or rather, my neighbor has carpenter bees. I don't think we have them anymore in our little overhang, but they are annoying. And I found this guy was talking about prometherol or something like that that like just kills all insects, just point blank period. So I'm gonna buy some of that from Amazon or somewhere because the one on Amazon they said smells like gasoline and diesel, which is not the biggest problem because we're gonna be using it outside. But if it's effective, right? I don't want it to smell like gasoline and diesel because then I could use it inside because we have like um, centipedes, not centipedes. What are those things with all the legs? Yeah, yeah. I don't know what they are. He uses an app, Lead Farmer 73. He also uses an app. You may have to ask Mrs. Lead how it works. That's funny. I know what he uses. He uses a comment picker. I use a comment picker too. Um, yeah. So yeah, that's it for me, folks. Y'all don't have any questions? We're gonna wrap this thing up until next time. The next video should be coming out on Tuesday. That video will be a really short one, sadly. So I don't know if I should make y'all wait a whole week for a little 2-minute, 3-minute video. But it's a nice one. But the people who go to check on Patreon will get to see it early. And thank you so much to people who support me on Patreon. I think there's like 6 people now. It's pretty dope. Oh, that's the other thing I wanted to talk about. There's a wireless microphone system that I want to get, especially for these conversations that I have where my wife is around. But boy, is it expensive. It's $330. And I find it hard to come to terms with that. Now, in fairness, I was thinking about getting the Rode one, and the Rode one was $299. This one is $330, and it's better than the Rode, but just $330. By the time you get done with tax, it's like that's $350. But it's nice though. I just can't come to terms with it. So how I'm trying to like justify one, if it ever goes down to $299, because I came to terms with kind of like wanting that Rode, $299 appeals to me. $330 does not appeal to me. But if it ever went down to $299, I would kind of be more inclined. Excuse me. But if Amazon had it, I would buy it, but they don't, because then I could put it on Amazon with the like 6 months no interest, which is appealing to me. Because then if you could do it 6 months, equal payments, no interest, there's no downside to like buying something you need now. You know what I mean? Because they're going to make you pay it off. It's not like you can carry that balance. Well, no, you can't. You just got to, they're going to add it to your monthly payment. Your monthly payment is going to be whatever it normally is, plus that purchase divided by 6. So you can't mess up. But why is there don't go weeks without content? True. I watch some of his videos. He's more into prepare for everything, anything, 2 times back up for the 4th backup preparedness. Let's see. He is a prepper channel. Oh, he's a prepper. Check out his channel. I couldn't find the appeal. Wayne told me about him. And I was like, okay, what's his flyest video that you've seen? And he couldn't mention one. So I was just like, what am I supposed to do with that? Oh, Alaska Prepper is a person. Alaska says sky is falling. Oh, really? That's interesting. I guess I'm personally not a fan. The few videos that I watch of the super casual nature by which he conducts his videos, I feel like I don't have time for that. You know what I mean? Like, nor do I want to make time for that. That's just me though. You know what I mean? I don't got nothing against the guy. It's just like it didn't appeal to me. I'm off. all centered. Um, but the like the microphone, man, it would be nice. I have actually a wireless microphone. The sound is not great on it. I listened to the sound on a live and I didn't like it. I recorded a video with it and I didn't like it. So it was one that was given to me by a company. Um, but it would give the main reason is it would give me freedom when I'm recording, first and foremost, but it would also give my wife freedom and y'all could hear her better. So she wouldn't be tethered. So I'm constantly going back and forth with like this 330 because it's a lot of coin, man. It's a lot of coin. Give me model number of the mic. It's the DJI mic. That's literally it. It's fly too, sir. It's fly. Oh man, sheesh, that dip is fly. Especially compared to the Rode microphone, and it kind of beats it in almost every way. Let's see, DJI mic. That dip had a wait list and all kinds of jazz. It took them a minute to come out with it, but I think it's gonna be super popular. Freaking taxes. Don't remind me. It's and also another thing that I said, I was talking to Setite about it. If Best Buy had it like in the store, I would even kind of entertain the 330 then, because then I get instant gratification. I could just drive somewhere and grab one. But like spending that money plus the tax, having to wait, and no real fiduciary benefit. Just like another way I kind of come to terms. I know this is kind of silly, but I kind of come to terms with it. My wife and I do have a vlog channel, so it would serve multiple purposes. So it's like if it was 300, I could see like 150 from the solar channel, 150 from personal. I could kind of stomach that. But that 165 plus the tax is just like anyway, I'm beating a dead horse. All right. Y'all check out that microphone. It's pretty fly. It's like the AirPods of wireless microphones. It's pretty dope. I'm gonna get out of here. Y'all be beautiful. I keep forgetting about doing my state taxes. Freaking taxes. Jeez. Let's figure out how to deal with these politicians. Let's figure that out. All right, y'all be beautiful. I'm out of here. Until next time. Check out Patreon. A video will be going up over there soon.